Sai Ram. Thank you all. Thank you. Ganana Antva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavin Kavinamupamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashranvan Utibhissidasadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhir Vajinivati Dhinama Vitrayavatu Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Bhur Bhuvassuvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhur Bhuvassuvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhur Bhuvassuvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad, Hashem Vahu, Vahishtem Asti, Vushta Asti, Vushta Ahmai, Yat Ashai Vahishtai Ashim Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim La ilaha illallah Allah Allah 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 Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat Om Shiridivasaya Vidmahe Satchidanandaya Dhimahi Tanna Sayi Prachodayat Om Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारी धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शम्भवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्नि कालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदा शिवाय श्रीमन् महादेवाय नमः। नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनान्ये दिशाञ्च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय त्रिशीमते पतीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्रुषाय व्याधिनेन्नानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्रायातकाविने क्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिव स्कृताय औषधीनां पतये नमो नम उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते पत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः नमः सहमानाय व्याधिन आव्याधिनीनां पतये नमो नमः ककुभाय निषङ्गिणे स्तेनानां पतये नमो नमो निषङ्गिणयिषु धिमते तस्कराणां पतये नमो नमो वञ्चते परिवञ्चते स्थायूनां पतये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्यानां पतये नमो नमः सृकाविभ्यो जिघागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णतां पतये नमो नमोऽसि मध्यो नक्तञ्चरध्य प्रकृन्तानां पतये नमो नमः श्नीशिने गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानां पतये नमो नम इषु मध्यो धन्वा विभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिददानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमोऽस्त्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आसीनेभ्य शयानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो दावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सभाभ्य सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्यो अश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let us all be together. Let us all be nourished together. Let us all work together with great vigor. May our studies shine and illumine our intellects. May we not hate each other. Let there be peace, peace, and peace. I offer my salutations to the universal fatherhood, referred to as Baba. Baba in English means father. Baba as the Divine Father is always inspiring this body to be aware and to be alert. Be aware, be alert. This is what really fatherhood stands for, truly speaking. The context of Baba in a spiritual point of view is being, awareness, bliss, absolute. Being, be, awareness, A, bliss, B, absolute, A. Sada Satswarupam Chidananda Kandam Jagat Sambhavasthana Samharahetam Swabhaktechaya Manusham Darshayantam Namamishwaram Sadgurum Sainadam. Offering our beloved Bhagavan Baba all our gratitude for his immense grace and love to bring together and to study together, to see together, to listen together, to love together, and to be nourished together, so that we shall be ourselves part of his sublime mission to love all and to serve all. May we not be diverted from this path. And we are studying the context of the movement associated from the heart to the ego and to the ego to the heart, and thereby connecting to the glory of his omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence. We are today going to contemplate on the second suktam of third Anuvakam. The third Anuvakam is about omniscience, and the first 8 yajus in this third Anuvakam of Rudram is about how do we actually be present and not be, and our presence not be stolen away, to be present to that one. And we discussed about how to channel those two inside and the Namaha. The second suktam of the third Anuvakam is the next 9 yajus. In the first 8, we were talking about the tendencies or the awareness about the tendencies that are stealing away, but actually asking the supreme stealer, the stealer of all the stealer, Taskaranam Pataye, Stayunam Pataye, Aranyanam Pataye, all these different, the Lord of all these thieves, to actually take away what doesn't belong to him. Please listen to this carefully. Whatever we are asking him to steal away from us doesn't belong to him, therefore he is a thief. And now shifting that awareness now into, what do we do then? Once all these things are stolen away and now we don't have any of those distractions, what happens next? And that is the next 9 suktas. And the first one is Namaha Ishumadbhyaha Dhanvavidbhyaha Cha Vaha Namaha. These are the words. When you put it all together and chant it with sandhis or bringing together those words, then it becomes Nama Yishu Madhyo Dhanva Vibhyascha Vo Namaha. But the words are Namaha, salutations, to those forms of the one, that also, vaha cha, means that also, what do they do? Salutations to those that also, ishu madhyaha, move about holding arrows and holding the bows, dhanva vidbhyaha. Ishu madhyaha means those that are holding the arrows, dhanva vidbhyaha. Bhya, bhyaha. Bhya means several, plural. Nama ishu madhyo dhanva vidbhyaschavo namaha. Then the next yajus, namaha atanvanebhyaha pratidadaanebhyascha vaha namaha. Also to those that atanvanebhyaha, string their bows. Pratidadaanebhyascha. Pratidadaanebhyaha means that also discharge the arrows. Moving about, holding the arrows, holding the bows, stringing the bows, and discharging the arrows. Namaha ayachadbhyaha visrujadbhyascha vaha namaha ayachadbhyaha. Then stretch their bows. Visrujadbhyaha, launch the arrows. That pratidadaanebhyaha doesn't mean discharge the arrows. Pratidadaanebhyaha is basically engage the arrow. Now you understand, hold the arrow, hold the bow, string the bow, engage the arrow, stretch the bow, and launch the arrow. Nama asyabhyaha vidyabhyaha chavaha namaha. Asyadbhyaha. Asyadbhyaha means then shoot the arrow. Vidyabhyaha means make that arrow hit the target. These four yajus, what are they really talking about? Archery. The entire process of archery is described, no? Hold the arrow, hold the bow, string the bow, engage the arrow, stretch the bow, launch the arrow, shoot the arrow, make it hit the target. What is this to do with the Rudra? What is this to do with the Rudram? What is this to do with basically the so-called icon of Shiva that we worship, who, by the way, doesn't even hold an arrow and a bow? How many of us have seen pictures of Shiva holding a bow and an arrow? If there is one, it is very rare, no? What is Shiva holding most of the time? Some Trishul. But in this Rudram, so far, there is no mention of any Trishul. All kinds of weapons are mentioned. There is no mention of any Trishul so far. And then what is this archery to do with omniscience? Ishu madhyaha. Now in this beautiful, what you are seeing here beautifully, I will request you to be present and to go with me through this. Let us all go through this. Holding the arrow. And you all know what an arrow is by this time. Hold the thought. Hold the thought. Then engage the mind with the thought. Hold the mind. Then engage the thought. And then stretch. Then we are stringing the mind. Then you are basically launching, engaging the thought into this mind. and then achieve the goal or target in action. Now, there are several that have lot of thoughts, lot of quote unquote thoughtful people. That's a pun, I apologize. What is a thoughtful people? People that are full of thoughts, lot of thoughts, but they don't execute anything in action. So much in thought, so little in action. And even if they engage the thought and launch the thought into action, 99% of the time it wouldn't even hit the target it needs to hit. But yet what we're trying to be talking about is, brothers and sisters, this is very important, please stay with me, in this beautiful aspect of this second suktam of third Anuvakam, there are three powers of this awareness are mentioned, three powers of the mind in action that are not utilized by the humanity successfully. So much of energy is totally wasted in thoughts that are absolutely useless and talk that is absolutely useless, actions that are absolutely useless. So then there is this beautiful aspect of what is given to us, what is given to humanity to engage in is first the power of choice of thought, the power of choice of thought. Can we actually look at a thought and watch the thought? Another thought is coming. Can you actually look at the space between the two thoughts? And then as you watch these thoughts come through, can you separate the space between the two thoughts and be present to the space between the two thoughts? Please. I'll tell you what happened with Bhagavan that I heard one time. Bhagavan was in this indoor stadium that when they opened the indoor stadium in Puttaparthi, there was, students were playing basketball. There's pin drop silence and there is a resonance of the sound whenever the ball is hitting the ground. And then Swami looked at the boy standing next to him and he asked him in Telugu, it's too much sound, no? It's too much noise. Toop, 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 toop. Too much sound, no? And then the boy said, yes, Swami, there's a lot of noise. And then Swami told him, you listen to the sound, I listen to the silence between the two sounds. If every thought is a sound, and between those two thoughts there is that silence, can we grab that silence between the two thoughts? And that is called the power of choice. The power of choice. And when we connect to that power of choice, scientifically, it's proven that the human mind has the attention span of 150 bits per second. 150 bits per second. How much power is there in that? How much power? 150 bits per second. And in that 150 bits per second, even if you are able to engage 100 out of 150, you really become such a powerful mind and a focused mind, like a Swami Vivekananda, a Shankaracharya. all those incredible intellectuals and the geniuses, so that you can actually capture that 100% attention and focus on something without getting distracted. That is that mindfulness about the thought. We are thoughtful in a very different way, but what we're saying, Ishu Madhyo, hold the thought, and the silence between the thought. Then engage the mind with the thought. 100% engagement of that mind with the thought, without absolutely any distraction. Dhanva vidbhyaha. And to those that can hold the thought and those that can focus 100% on that thought, that's the power of focus, the power of choice, the power of focus. And engaging that into 100% action and absolutely hitting that target. Now you may ask the question, is that possible, sir? What is these examples you can give that I can say this is completely philosophical or spiritual? What is the example, the witness of that? The witness of that for me is Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba bringing something into his hand. The moment that thought came into his mind that I want to give this fellow a ring, then what happened? That thought 100% engaged. I want to give him something. I want to give a ring to this fellow. The moment that thought hit, I want to give ring, the ring is in the hand. Complete translation of total thought into total mindfulness, into total action, into total materialization. Not a single bit is wasted in the process. Not a single bit. We are all calling that the stupid word called miracle. Miracle is something unnatural, artificial, temporary. What Swami is doing is not a miracle. It's called Vajra Sankalpa. The integrity of the thought and the action are so much so that when that thought came, it will not be wasted, and it is completely integrated materialization of the thought into action in the material. Completely natural. It's not unnatural. It's not a miracle. Please don't use the word miracle. The word miracle doesn't do any justification to what Bhagavan Baba does. It's our stupid mind that is thinking that there is something that has happened and nothing to do with that. And therefore, what is this? Ishumadbhyaha, dhanva vibhyaha, atanvanebhyaha, pretidadanebhyaha, ayachadbhyaha, visrujadbhyaha, asyadbhyaha, vidyadbhyaha. The power of choice, the power of focus, and the power of materialization. When that happened, you ask the question, how in such a short span of time, a Vivekananda accomplished so much in 32 years of life, how in such a short span of time, a Ramanujam has accomplished knowing the infinity and beyond? How did in 32 years lifespan, how did a Vivekananda do it? How did a Ramanujam do it? How did a Shankaracharya do it? They didn't live for hundreds of years. The 32 years of span of life is equivalent to probably a combination of humanities belonging to countries put together. That is the level of focus and concentration and choice of execution, so much mindfulness. And it happens not because of one reason. It happens is because there is absolutely zero selfishness in the agenda of that thought. It's nothing selfish about it. It's just 100% unselfish translation. Yesterday, when we were talking about all these other aspects of tendencies of the mind that are distracted, it's completely driven by the selfish ego. But here we are shifting now, the same mind now, you see, same mind, namaha, namaha. Once it is completely stolen away, and now it is present with the Supreme Self, that mind has the thought of power of choice, the power of focus, the power of execution. So do spiritual people engage in actions? Yes. Spiritual people are not lethargic people. Their mind is fully engaged. In fact, I'm telling you, compared to the so-called non-spiritual materialistic people who also engage their mind, this mind has the power of so much engagement and focus and execution. Unbelievable. How much of focus and execution of that mind of Baba, the Divine Father, is to materialize hospitals, healthcare, service projects, everything across the world in such a short span of time, even governments cannot do together. How did that happen? Is Bhagavan Baba a superhuman or a human that actually showed the humanity how to execute selfless love when it present, how it materializes into this power of choice of thought, power of execution? Let me pause there because the next 5, we are going into different awareness of omniscience. Now this perfection in awareness of this mind that is able to now 100% engage a thought into materializing that thought into action, hitting every goal it needs to hit. Please. Yes, and today I'm not sharing the screen because I want you all to listen with 100%, 150 bits per second attention. Yes, Sairam. Any questions, comments? Seems to be very obvious, huh? Ishumadhyaha, dhanvavidbhyaha, atanvanebhyaha, pratidadaanebhyaha, ayachadbhyaha, visrujadbhyaha, asyabhyaha, vidyabhyaha. This is a seemingly simple process of archers launching arrows and hitting targets. But these are what we are calling as thoughts are coming itself, or how is it originated? Yes, good question. That is what's called the power of choice of thought. Yeah, thoughts are coming by themselves, yes. As long as you are alive and you have something called a mind, yes, they're constantly coming. They're like stones that are hitting this lake of consciousness. How do thoughts come? Manasam tu kim margane krute naiva manasam marga arjavat vrittayastva vrittayaha aham vrittimasritaha vrittayo mano vidyaham manaha. Bhavan Ramana says, what is this mind? If you start looking for mind, and there is no mind, is the mind is actually that. And I will come to that. Then what is that context of what he's talking about? How do we then be present to that state where there is this context of power of choice of thought. This is what I'm talking about is, of course, seemingly simple. It is not, but it comes with incredible power of concentration and meditation. And as Patanjali has said, today is also International Yoga Day, in addition to Father's Day. And hence probably the thought is coming. What is yoga? Yogaha chitta vritti nirodhakaha. What is yoga? International Yoga Day. International Yoga Day. Yoga is not stretching body, acrobatics. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodhakaha. How do we actually become mindful of the thought so much that you are able to present to that awareness of the thought and to be able to pay 100% attention to that, or to the silence between the two thoughts, so that the thought itself stops coming. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodhakaha. Vrittayastvaham vrittimasritaha. Vrittayo mano vidyaham manaha. This is Bhagavan Ramana is saying in a different way. What is the mind? The mind is the movement of the ego self creates the thought. The movement of the ego self creates the thought. Why do we have continuous stream of thoughts? Because our ego is moving constantly. This ego self is constantly kinetic. It is moving. It cannot stand still. When you are able to stop this movement of the ego, then that stopping of that movement of that ego will stop the thought. Yeah, I think here's the thing, right? Yesterday also, we were doing this in study circle. Bhagavan says very simply, you follow the wealth and the power of the shadow. And you are going away from when you are turned away from the light, you follow the shadow. And you can be chasing this shadow forever and ever. You will never be able to hold that shadow because you're turned away from light. When you turn towards the light, the shadow follows you. So you turn towards the light, the shadow is following you. You turn away from light, you are following the shadow. It is immensely difficult to practice. What is immensely difficult to practice? That what is immensely difficult to practice is to turn towards the light. That is what is immensely difficult. So this turning is difficult because instead of turning and staying towards the light, you keep rotating. Yes. Then what happens? You have this power of choice, the power of focus, the power of presence. And then what happened? When there is choice, meaning what? I'm execute on this, I'm not executing on this, or even better, I'm going to be present only to that space between those two thoughts. As you increase the space between the two thoughts, what happens? That is what the next 4 yajas are describing. Namaha asinebhyaha seyanebhyaha swapadbhyaha jagradbhyaha tishtadbhyaha davadbhyaha sabhabhyaha sabhapatibhyaha Ashwebhya, Ashwapatibhya. We, when we look at these words, when we look at these words and what that each word is saying, apparently the word is telling you some meaning that is relatable in a relative world. Asinebhyaha, those that are sitting. Shayanebhyaha, those that are reclining. Swapadbhyaha, those that are sleeping or dreaming. Jagradbhyaha, those that are awake. Tishtadbhyaha, those that are standing or being still. Davadbhyaha, those that are running. Sabhabhyaha, those that are parts of assemblies. Sabhapatibhyaha, those that are also leaders of such assemblies. Ashwebhyaha, those that are horses. Ashwavatibhyaha, those that are riding on the horses. Absolutely clueless how this is related to the power of presence, no? And this is what happened when initially some people focused on these Veda mantras and they were translating whoever, the Germans, the French, the so-called Western philosophers. They couldn't even connect to what all this really meant in the context of spiritual presence. And they started writing nonsense about the Vedas, saying that all this Vedas is about horses, horse riders, dogs, dog rulers, all of this stuff. What is this to do with philosophy? They heckled the philosophy because there is no presence of awareness. Array, you fool, you don't look at the object. You look at what is that word talking about, what is behind that object, what is the awareness of that object. And when you put this mind still in the context of power of choice, power of focus, power of presence, then what happens? You are able to be aware of the omniscience of what we are apparently looking at as people that are sitting, people that are still, not moving, like Bhagavan Ramana. Chummair, simply sitting. I looked at Bhagavan Ramana's, just looking at his picture makes me still. Just looking at his picture, how he's sitting, reclining on that, putting one hand, and how still is that body. How still are those eyes? Asinebhyaha, shayanebhyaha, swapadbhyaha, jagradbhyaha. Those that are dreaming, mostly daydreaming. Asin, swapadbhyaha, jagradbhyaha, those that are awake. What awake? What is that? What is that we're talking in the context of being awake? Yes. What is that dream state? There are two types of dream. A dream that is you are in a vacant state and a dream that you are in sleep state. Both are dreams, but are you aware, awake? Tishtadhyaha, standing still. And those are, we are seeing people standing still. And then those that are in Silicon Valley running all the time. Davadbhyaha, Sabhabhyaha, Sabhapatibhyaha. I think what we are trying to be present to is in all these states that we are describing here, still and meditating, static and dynamic, watching and engaging, participating and leading. That's what we are talking about. Yes, all those what I described, still and meditating, static and dynamic, watching and engaging, participating and leading. Yes. And these states are happening all the time. If we just notice that, But now what we are talking about, are we noticing that awareness that is in all these states of being? There is an awareness. And that is the power of presence that we are talking about. So we talked about the very first 8 edges in the context of tendencies of the ego self that is being stolen away from the presence. Then the presence to the thought and the power of choice of thought, the focus of thought. And then what we're talking about is the awareness of the presence itself that is there through various states of being that are occurring because of movement. Still and meditating, static and dynamic, watching and engaging, participating and leading. Sabhabhyaha, sabhapatibhyaha. Namaha, namaha. Then suddenly this last yajus ends with Ashwebhyaha, Ashwapatibhyaha. Ashwa means that which runs fast. That which runs fast, most of us know, is a horse. And that horse runs in a direction if there is somebody who is the jockey sitting on it, Ashwapati. What runs even faster than a horse are our senses. Ashwa also means those that are unable to accumulate anything for the next day. Ashwa also means those that do not accumulate anything for the next day. Now you see 3 types of ashwas are described. Those that are making their senses run like horses. In Telugu we call it korikale gurralaite, means that is what is running all the time. But those that are unable to accumulate the food for the next day means poor people. And then there is this people that do not want to accumulate anything for the next day. And that is why the great, even Buddha, went to beg for alms, because you get what you need for that day so that you don't think about what is the next day. You are present for the day. So, brothers and sisters, there is beyond this power of choice and concentration is the power of presence to the one that is everlasting, Sabhapati. And what are these sabhas that are talked about? There are 5 different types of sabhas described as Lord Shiva being. There is Chitra Sabha, Ratna Sabha, Tamra Sabha, Velli Sabha, Kanaka Sabha. I'll give you what those are in English in a second. There is an assembly of paintings in temples. These are in temples of India, Shiva temples. There is paintings of an assembly of paintings in which Lord Shiva is worshipped, Chitra Sabha, and completely copper-studded assembly in a temple called Tamra Sabha. Then there is a silver-studded assembly called Velli Sabha. Then the studded assembly in a Shiva temple in India called Ratna Sabha. And then finally Kanaka Sabha, the Golden Sabha. And this Golden Sabha, the Kanaka Sabha, is located in Chidambaram, the Shiva temple. What are all these sabhas, the assemblies? The assemblies are associated with our own existence of different states in ages, the childhood, the youth, and the old age. Then there is the sleep state, the dream state, and the wakefulness, different states. The past, present, and future, different states. The slumber, passionate, and equipoised, different states of attributes. How many different states or assemblies are there? In each of these assemblies, you recognize the Lord of that assembly who is not changing. Baladishvapi jagradadishu tadha sarvavavasthasvapi vyavrittasvanvartamanamaham ityantaspurantam sada. This is Dakshinamurti Stotram, in which Bhagavan Shankara says, all these different states of existence, there is this I am presence that is always there. So what this second suktam is really bringing to all of this, culminating in this I am presence, awareness of that I am presence, what is called Vajebhir, Vajinivati, all these different states and energies. The one which is the undercurrent of all of this is that I am presence and that I am consciousness, and that is the Sabhapati. Sabhabhya, Sabhapatibhyaha. In the middle of the cave of the heart, the self is proclaiming, I am, I am, I am. Attain that realization of that I am by drowning this ego mind into the heart with the inquiry of who am I, or the breath control, so hum. This is all about this I am awareness, the omniscience. The omniscience. We're studying, we're looking at omniscience. We're working together towards this I am awareness. Hridaya kuhara madhye kevalam brahmamatram hyaha myaha miti sakshat atmarupena bhati hridi visha manasasvam chinvata majjata va pavana chalana rodhat atmanishto bhavatvam. This is Bhagavan Ramana's declaration, which I translated first into English. Hridaya kuhara madhye, in the middle of the cave of your heart, this self is always proclaiming Hyaham Yahamiti Sakshat Atma Rupena Bhavati. That I am, I am, I am is that Atma. How do you get to that? When you take your mind or the ego self and make it drown, make the mind drown with the inquiry of who am I, nan yar, nan yar, nan yar. How do you do that? Vayurodhana. You take your breath and then you keep focusing that breath going inside, outside, soham. Then you will be aware of this self. And the outcome of that presence of I am is very simply put, as Bhagavan, as Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda says, Atmano mokshartham jagadhitaya cha ashwebhyaha ashwapatibhyaha. It's very, very deep today, because that is what is, and whether you acknowledge it or not, whether you want to say it is easy or difficult, whatever excuse you want to give, period, at the end of the day, this is what it is. You can keep on telling, this is too much philosophy, we don't have really time for, Yes, you can ignore it for the time being. You can ignore it for many lives. You can ignore it forever. But the ultimate thing is, until you know this, you will be keeping and coming and going and keeping, coming and going all the time. And your rotation will happen with 8.5 million species until this is realized. So there is no escape. No escape. Power of choice. Okay, I will. 3 minutes left. Yeah. Who is saying time? Who is saying time doesn't exist? Yes, Mirjana. Who do you mean time doesn't exist?
I can explain.
Uh-huh.
I think that time doesn't exist. Everything is happening now. We have power to change our past and to create our future. And everything we can do now with our power. We can forgive everything what we eventually did wrong in the past. We can forgive to ourselves and to all other. And with this, we can change and create best future. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Is now time? Now is now time? Yes. Another question, please. Yes, go ahead. Somebody was saying something.
Sairam. In this relative world, we don't feel the gap between our thoughts. We don't know whether there is a gap or there is no gap. Thoughts come like that. Swami did 11 hours of tapassu. Ramana Maharshi, he did 11 hours of tapassu. Is it possible?
11 years.
11 years of tapassu. Sorry. So is it possible in this, what we can say, worldly life? Is it possible?
Everybody has to answer that question for themselves. Yeah, this is the trap. Is it possible? Is it possible? Of course it is possible, because there are people that have done it now. So of course it is possible. But we don't want to give it a serious effort, and therefore we say, is it possible? Really? I'm just simply a human being. Is it possible? Is it possible? Yes. That everyone has to answer for themselves. It is possible because others have done it. Now is not time. Now is actually 100% silence between two thoughts. We can change the past, we can change the future. All those things are again strategies that we are somehow trying to create, that we have past, we have future. There is no past, there is no future when there is actually now. Yes, Mira very beautifully said. If you simply operate that from an approach of who is this you are making it possible for? That's the question you have to ask. When you say, who is that I you are making it possible for? If you are saying this I that I want to make it possible for is the ego self that is constantly moving, chasing wealth and power, like you are chasing that shadow, it is not possible. Period. Who is asking that question? Is it possible? First you ask that. Who is asking, is it possible? Who is asking that question? If you understood who is asking that question, then you will be answering that yourself. First, figure out, how is this possible? Give me some strategies. Give me some formulas. Give me some mantras. Give me some practices. If you are asking, then that is impossible. None of what we're doing in the context of all these activities make it possible. You have to first answer the question, who is asking the question? Who is it possible? Extremely difficult to achieve the presence to space between the presence. Is chanting Rudram supposed to help us in achieving this goal, or this formula supposed to help us in this journey? Yes. What happens if you focus on your breath? Is it possible that by focusing on breath, you would be able to reduce the activity of the mind? Yes, it is possible. But does it eliminate the kind of the mind? No, because these samskaras are what we were calling yesterday, these images, the vasanas, all those things that we were talking, they keep coming, they keep coming. Is it what do these practices do? Prana bandhanan liyamanasam ekachintanan nashametyada. If Bhagavan's grace and love inspires, we will study Upadeshasaram one of these days. The answers to most of these questions are already very simply elaborated. But what we need to first try to understand and comprehend is, what is the purpose of doing this Rudram chanting? It will serve that whatever purpose you want it to serve. Are these formulas supposed to help us in this? They are pointers, like Brother Arun Hampapur put it yesterday. What this is bringing, what it is doing, is at least now you are aware. Oh, I got a thought. Oh, good. I got another thought. Oh, there is another thought. Now you are watching the thought. And the moment that you are watching this thought, very simply then what happens? What happens? The fact that you are watching it makes it create this presence to whatever they are calling as now. With this presence now, I want to change the future. Gone. I want to change my past. Gone. If past is a dream, future is a dream. Those are the two dreams. What are you trying to change with the dreams? A dream is a dream, you won't change. You have to be aware of the dream. The moment you are aware of the dream, then the dream disappears. No. That's the point that we are trying to get to. You have to be awake. And if you call that awakened state present, call it whatever you want. Names don't matter. Dunya. Keep chanting Rudram though. Yes, we are 5 minutes over. Yes, in the context of chanting Rudram or singing a bhajan or whatever, may the bhajan release you. You don't release a bhajan. Manasa bhajare guru charanam, dustara bhavasagara taranam. Yes, one simple bhajan, Bhagavan Baba has very beautifully described what is the practice. But don't ask the question, is it possible? First, find out who is asking that question. Is it possible? Who is asking that question? See, somebody went to Bhagavan Ramana and said, I am meditating. Then Bhagavan Ramana asked, figure out who is meditating. Who is meditating? Who is asking questions? Who is saying, I am present now? Who is saying, I am present now? Even that, I am present now. Who is that is saying, I am present now? In true presence, there is nothing called I want this, or I am this, or I am that. The moment you objectify the I am with something after that I am, know that you are no longer that I am. Please, if you're present to what I'm saying, think about it, meditate on this, then you will get this. Please. I am playing, then definitely you're not I am anymore, because the I am is associated with some objectification. Yes. Happy yoga to all of you. International Yoga Day. Today's class is about yoga. And in summary, we concluded this beautiful third Anuvakam, which is about omniscience. Omniscience is supreme awareness. Supreme awareness in the context of the tendencies that steal the presence away, associated with the movement of the ego. Then we shall recognize that, and then we say, let us now offer it in the context of making this ego not steal away the presence and turn the ego towards the light, not towards the shadow. And then the next thing Sukta is talking about is, in that turning towards the light, you shall notice that everything is clear. Dhiyo yonaf prachodayat. In that Dhiyo yonaf prachodayat, please, I'm summarizing everything in 2 minutes and then we'll conclude. What we're trying to say, when the ego self is motivated by the tendencies that are associated with impressions that have happened this life or past life or whatever life, many lives, whatever, then the intellect is now turned towards the shadow and the mind is chasing the shadow, and therefore you are going outward. So you are following the shadow. That is what is said in Sanskritam as buddhi karma anusarini. When you follow your vasanas, your tendencies, and therefore you are now chasing the shadow. But when it is turned towards the light, dhiyo yonaf prachodayat, then you shall be able to see with clarity all the stuff that we're talking about. Then you shall be able to see the thoughts. You shall be able to have power of presence to the thought, power of presence to the light. And when you are present to that light and you are moving towards that light, then you shall be in the light. First, you are in the light, then the light is in you, then you are the light. Om Sri Sai Ram. We'll close with 3 Samastaloka Sukhna. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Sai Ram. God bless you.
Jai Sai Ram, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Sai Ram.
Jai
Jai
Ram.
Sai
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jai